Jackson to the left. Blitz is on. Back to throw. Marinovich down the sidelines looking. Jackson has it. He's at the 25-20, 15-10-5, and the Trojans have scored.
Touchdown USC, John Jackson, the Trojans go in front. John Jackson goes right down the field and plants. Then he makes the reception, 2 feet in, touchdown.
There's John Jackson.
In 1976, assistant coach John Jackson walked the Trojan sideline for the first time. Little did he know, he was starting a Jackson family tradition.
My dad, he got VIP treatment because he was a coach, and he coached some great players, USC legends. Nobody knew it at the time, but you knew they were good. But I'd go to the locker room and not many kids get to say hello to Marcus Allen after the game.
8 years after his father helped lead the Trojans to a national championship, John Jackson Jr. joined the USC Brotherhood.
Did you think that, this guy be in the same conversation as some of those USC Trojan legends?
I never thought it. I dreamed it. It was a dream of mine, and it came true. And so there's just no way, there's no way to really describe it, but there's days I wake up and when I look back on my career, I was the luckiest man to work because they don't let 5'11", 165-pound receivers play anymore.
Now, 30 years after John Jackson Jr. was setting USC receiving records, another John Jackson is looking to make his mark in the Coliseum.
Good eyes, baby.
Wearing number 80 in his first season for the Trojans is wide receiver John Jackson, the third.
Were you always a Trojan? Was it even in question?
Growing up around the SC program, obviously, had a big influence on me and, on my decision of where I wanted to go. Having my grandfather who was a coach here and a dad who played here and actually had a couple records, to do what they did and, try to leave my own mark and maybe even beat what they did here, would be really amazing to me.
Grandfather ran out of this tunnel. Your dad ran out of this tunnel. Now you get to run out of this tunnel.
Man, it's crazy. It's crazy what, a true blessing it is to really get to this point.
You think it's been a dream for your dad?
I think so. He'll tell people, I want my son to do whatever makes him happy, but obviously this school giving him the opportunity that he had and what he did here, I'm sure he'd want his son to do the same, do even better than him.
While John Jackson III has a long way to go to match his legendary father's accomplishments, his dad is never far away. After a career at USC and in the NFL, JJ went on to become the radio color commentator for, of course, his USC Trojans.
Handoff Malapé up the middle into the end zone. Touchdown USC.
Power football the entire way. I tip my hat to Clay Help. He took the ball on the kickoff, then he just rammed it right down the throat of Washington State on this first drive. A great message to your team.
He started on the sideline, knows the game on both sides of the ball like you have to when you're an outstanding college football player. He came in guns a-blazing. He was not shy about sharing his opinion, and we worked very well right away.
With John Jackson Jr. in the booth and John Jackson III committing to USC in the offseason, 2019 was shaping up to be a magical year for the Jackson family.
What do you recall from December 4th?
So I just remember being in the gym and getting a little bit dizzy, and the ironic thing was I had dehydration in the summer, so maybe 6 months earlier. So I thought it was just another case of that. So I said, okay, let's just go to the hospital, let them put this little IV in my arm, and then I can get home and get back to work. And it didn't work out that way.
When JJ came into the hospital, he was in a life and death state. He had a major stroke, major blood clot in one of the big vessels of his brain, and it was evolving quickly. He was able to talk initially, but then his speech went away. And then he closed his eyes and was no longer awake. We called the OR, and the neurosurgeon took him immediately to the operating room. We got him there, we knew we had to act fast because his condition was so tenuous.
Were you afraid?
Oh yeah. I started making plans as if I was gonna be gone. I told explained to my kids that, I loved them and, I'm sorry, this is just what it is, and you guys gotta go on and, fulfill your dreams.
It was definitely hard, and I was more trying to stay strong for my younger siblings, but my biggest thing was I didn't want my brother to not get the same opportunity that I got, that same amazing man that I got.
Your rehabilitation. Where were you when you got started?
I couldn't sit up. There was a point where I couldn't sit up. I couldn't hold my balance. I would fall over. Even those simple things that used to just be part of life, as I could start to do them, it became a huge deal.
Bigger, 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 bigger.
I started to make very small progress. I said, I'm going to make it back, and I will watch him run out of that tunnel in the first game. That has become my dream. My dream used to be to go to the locker room and talk to Ricky Bell. Now my dream is to sit in the Coliseum and watch him take the field. If I can do that, my life's complete.
Without a doubt, it makes me just thankful and blessed that he had his whole life to think about. And the one thing he will say is he couldn't wait to see his son play at SC. And to me, it pushes me and motivates me even more to impress him as much as possible and making sure that when he comes out and he watches me from up there, he can be proud.
Live from the Los Angeles Coliseum for your enjoyment, USC Trojan football is on the air. The sun has just set off to our left and to the west as the Trojans meet Fresno State for the 5th time in history on the Trojan Football Radio Network. Every year at this time, we take time to dedicate our upcoming season's worth of broadcast to someone special. As you probably know, last December, our color analyst on the Trojan Radio Network, John Jackson, suffered a major stroke. JJ joins us here in the booth, and I could not be happier that he's here. Just being here was a carrot on a stick. But there's number 80 down there, and your kid is playing college football for USC, and I know you've been imagining this the whole time, haven't you?
My dream was to be able to be here tonight, to watch him take the field and run out of that tunnel. It'll be a dream come true. I won't be able to hold my emotions in. As you can tell, I'm already, losing it a little bit. But
we all are.
But just to be here tonight is a dream come true, and it's even better to spend it here amongst all my friends who love me. I love you guys, so thank you guys.
When my son comes down the tunnel, he'll have so many emotions. There's 3 generations of us that have done it. I was able to do as much as I could as a dad to be a part of it and to give it to him.
Here come the Trojans onto the field for the first time in 2019 as the crowd roars its approval.
It'll be the proudest moment of my life. If I can do that, my life's complete. Proud of you, buddy.